Hey, what's going on, beautiful jellyfish? It's Tracy.
And Paul.
And we're going to be doing Paul's Horde of Notions deck tech, which, did we ever do this deck tech?
We've never done a deck tech. It's been featured in some of your really, really old videos for when we used to do 1v1s and record them. But yeah, surprising this has never been deck teched yet.
So that's what we're doing. And basically, the deck is about how much in price?
I mean, it fluctuates mostly depending on the price of the lands. Right now, the TCG low is looking at around 600. But this does have a full set, or almost a full set of fetches and shocks. And a Cavern of Souls.
You can easily build this deck for much cheaper, so don't let that price discourage you. Also, there's some foils and stuff in here, but the deck will be listed in the down bar below, but we're going to be showing y'all every card, except for the mana base, because there's fetches, there's shocks, there's a Cavern of Souls in there, which is all pretty expensive, but you don't need those things. I'm actually going to be doing a video upcoming talking about if you need fetches and shocks in EDH, so I'll kind of talk about that more in that video, but you're running 38 lands.
Yes, which is a lot for, I feel like, most decks, but with this, you kind of want that, especially if you can get multiple of every color for Horde's ability.
Absolutely. So let's go into enchantments first because there's the least amount of them. So the first land is Elemental Bond.
Almost every single creature in there here has at least 3 power. There's, I think, only a couple that don't. So basically, anytime I play a creature, I get to draw a card, and that's always a good thing. And even then, I don't even have to cast it. They just have to come from... I can play them with Horde or Avengers Zendikar or anything like that. Just draw a bunch of cards.
Yeah, this card's good. I like it. The next enchantment is a classic, which is Mirara's Wake. I talked about this card in one of my EDH cards with the money. I do think Mirara's Wake is worth it if you're really looking to invest in, and not even necessarily just this deck, but like a deck that runs these colors. I would really invest in Mirara's Wake.
Yeah, there's really no reason not to. If you can double your mana output, it's absolutely worth it.
So good. This card's awesome. Also, that gives your team +1/+1. Then we have Warstorm Surge. You're not running the other card in here.
Which one?
You're not running the same card that Warstorm Surge, but it's 5 mana, Wear Ancient's Tread.
Oh, no, I just don't have a Wear Ancient's Tread, so I put the Warstorm Surge in here.
It makes sense, yeah. Warstorm Surge is amazing. This card's so good.
When you drop a couple of the creatures in here that are just always really large, it's fun. We'll get into those when we get there.
Yeah, the card's great. Let's talk about artifacts next. So the first one is Armorelli Sphere.
Just, mana fixing. I don't run a whole lot of basics. I think I have maybe 15 in the deck at the moment. So if I don't have a fetch or something, it's a good way to fix the last couple of colors.
Yeah, not a whole lot to say there. Then we have Black Blade Reforged.
Equip that to Horde, make it really, really, really big, and just smack for lots of damage.
This card's really dumb.
Or just equip to any creature, make it really big.
Also, really, equip to legendary creature, most of the time you're going to be equipping it to Horde.
Yeah.
So, Chromatic Lantern.
A little bit more mana fixing. It doesn't really need to be here, but it's just a good fallback, just in case.
Yeah. Conqueror's Flail. This card's really good.
Basically, equipped creature would get +5/+5 is really what that says, because I'm almost always going to have Horde on the battlefield.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
this card is really strong. This is a really interesting card. I want to hear your opinions on this Grimmer of the Dead.
I love this card. I have a lot of creatures that cost more than 5 mana, or they cost triple of a color or something like that, and this is a good way to put them in the graveyard and then play them with Horde. And then inevitably, if I get 4 counters on it, I can just bring back everything from the graveyards onto the battlefield, which is just even better. So yeah, it's just value.
This card's really interesting. I kind of like this card. It's funny. And the last one is Helm of the Host, because this card's freaking amazing.
I think everybody at this point pretty much knows what this card does.
It's so good.
But lots of big dumb creatures that have good effects: Omnath, Horde, Avengers Zendikar, the list goes on.
Helm of the Host and everything.
Yeah.
This is so good. Okay, now let's talk about the instants. There are 6. So the first is Boros Charm.
This used offensively or defensively, protect myself from a board wipe if need be, or give something double strike,
I think this card's really underrated. It does say permanence you control, so someone like I cast Armageddon and try to blow up Pulse Lands. These things are indestructible.
Yeah.
This card's really strong. Cyclonic Rift because,
Yeah.
duh.
One of the more expensive non-land cards in the deck.
But totally worth it. Dig through time.
This card doesn't even need an introduction.
No.
Everybody knows this card at this
You don't run Treasure Cruise, which is disappointing because I can't sing my Treasure Cruise song. Oh no, yeah you do. I lied. Never mind. You guys are gonna hear my Treasure Cruise song. Are you ready? Path to Exile because
Remove gods
duh.
and other
Remove
unnecessary
anything.
Yeah, well, non-land.
Yeah. Sphinx's Revelation. This card's amazing.
Yeah, because I need to draw cards a lot of times because I can dump hands really fast.
Oh, absolutely. And you gain life. This card's really good. And the last instant is Utter End.
More removal. Removal is always good.
Okay, sweet. Now let's talk about sorceries. There are 15. The first is Achroma's Vengeance. I love this card. It's good.
Discycling and destroy everything, basically. So
You pretty much never cycle this card.
No,
I don't think I've ever cycled in Achroma's Vengeance, and I run a million board wipes in Angels. This card's good. The next is Beseech the Queen. This is a really good tutor.
Yeah, tutors are always helpful. Get the one card you need. Get an Omnath, get Avengers Zendikar, get an artifact.
And it's also a cheaper if you're like considering like, oh, I can't afford a demonic tutor, like Beseech the Queen's a good option. Also, just keep in mind though, it does say lands equal to number of lands you control.
Which,
so yeah,
in
not a
this
problem
deck,
for you.
I think the highest CMC I have is 9. And so you're gonna have 9 lands fairly quick with this deck with just the amount of ramp that's in the deck.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, the next is Bring to Light. This card's great.
5 mana, get a creature, instant, or sorcery, and then you can play it for free. And so that gets probably about half the instants and sorceries in the deck. A lot of times I'll go get either an End Hostilities or something like that if I need to instant speed board wipe, or sorcery speed board wipe. But either that or just get a good creature or something like that.
Oh yeah, Bring to Light's a great card. The next, I really love this card, Buried Alive. This has become, I think, one of my favorite Magic cards.
This works, I think, better with Horde than even most decks, just because I put 3 elementals in my graveyard, and then I pay most of the time, if not always, less than their normal cost to put them onto the battlefield.
It's so good. Buried Alive is so good. Alright, and then of course we're running 5-color decks, so of course we're running Conflux because...
Tutor for 5 cards for 8 mana? That doesn't seem too bad.
Yeah, this card is really strong. Not a whole lot to say, and then we have Dread Boar.
Just more removal.
Again, not a whole lot to say. And Hostilities because you need board wipes.
Yep.
Farseek because...
A little bit of mana fetch is something other than a forest, which is always helpful.
Absolutely. Hour of Revelation. This card is really strong. Really
it
like
reminds
this
me of the red one that's 13 damage to everything.
Blasphemous Act.
Blasphemous Act, but for a board wipe. Kind of.
Yeah, this card's really good. Another board wipe in Garrick's Wake.
This one's obviously more expensive, but it doesn't affect your board, which is always really, really good. So it's a good way to just kind of close out the game.
Absolutely. Kodama's Reach. Yeah. Planar Cleansing because this card's great.
More board wipes.
This is Paul's probably favorite board wipe, Tragic Arrogance.
It also costs 5, so I can get that off the Bring to Light.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Tragic Arrogance. I think this card's very underrated. And then we have, this is my Treasure Cruise song. We're going on a cruise. Treasure Cruise. That's my Treasure Cruise song. This card's great. Okay, and then we have Urban Evolution. Card's awesome. Alright, let me do some math really quick. 10, 20, 32. There's 32 creatures in this deck.
33 if you count Horde.
Yeah. You right. Okay, first is Ashling, the Extinguisher.
Make opponent sacrifice creatures is always really good. Gets around indestructible and things like that. It is a little bit of a smaller body, so sometimes getting it through can be difficult, but it's usually not too bad.
Ashling's good. I like her a lot. Of course, Avenger of Zendikar.
In a deck that runs 7 of the 10 fetches currently, and Terramorphic Expanse, and all the other basic fetches, they can come out real big real fast, and then get really big as well.
Oh yeah, this card's ridiculous. I love it. Bane of Progress, because it's an elemental. You don't really run a lot of enchantments.
No.
Or
artifacts even. So this is more deals with other prison decks and stuff like that. I don't really typically like this card, and I for a long time refused to run it because of my Karn deck, which is, all artifacts. So, yeah, it's a fun card.
And then you got over your dislike, and you were like, I need to run this card because it's too good. Yeah. This card is probably not as well known, but Blazing Hellhound.
It kind of works for mostly in there for Omnath, or if somebody wants to target my thing with an exile effect. That way, I can sacrifice it, do 1 point of damage, or 4 if I have Omnath out. It's just another way to protect myself or kill someone.
And then we have Cinder Elemental.
This can do surprisingly large amounts of damage. If I have a mana sink, just drop a bunch of mana into it, sack it, bring it back with Horde, sink a bunch of mana into it.
This card is actually really good. It doesn't look that good, but it's performed surprisingly really well.
I did 30 damage in one game with that card.
Yeah. Those cards are no joke. Okay, another lesser known card, but this is really good with Horde if you just really need to pump out mana. Fertilid.
Yeah, just get the last of the lands out, thin the deck a little bit more. It's also a good blocker.
It is
chump blocker.
Block, and then you can sack it, which is really good. I really like this card. I think it's very strong. Of course, an essential card in an elemental tribal deck, which is Flamekin Harbinger.
Yep. For some reason, this is one of those cards in EDH that I just don't ever draw, which is a shame. I think I've maybe played the card twice in the existence I've had that card, which the amount of times I played that deck should have been a lot higher.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This card's really good. I like it a lot. Very good tutor. And great to get back with Horde, because then you can keep tutoring for it.
Yep.
Green Warden of Marassa, because
recursion.
Yeah.
Double recursion, or just, don't ever exile and just keep replaying it with Horde.
Absolutely. I was just going to say that. Absolutely. Incandescent Soul Stroke.
Elemental Lord. And then I can play for my hand for 2, and then sack a set into turn, but you don't really care about that sack ability.
You play Horde a lot in this deck. Like, you play it, and you really just want to... They kill your things, and you don't care. You care about exiling effects, but that's what the Blazing Hellhound is for, pretty much.
Yep.
And then we have Lord of Extinction. Is this a foil?
Yes.
Okay, sweet. That's cool.
This with Where Ancients Tread, or what's the one in my deck?
Warstorm
Surge. I'm bad at remembering names of cards, guys.
They do like the same thing.
Can do a massive amount of damage. I think I played this 3 times one game and did like 90 damage.
That's so funny. I love it. Okay, and then, of course, we're playing Elementals, so we have to run Maelstrom Wanderer.
Let's just cascade into more Elementals or other dumb things. And except I most often somehow flip into one of the 5 board wipes in the deck over anything else, so,
You have to be careful if you're building...
At least you don't have to cast them. At least they are my abilities.
It's true, but then they go to the bottom, which kind of sucks. But you have to be really careful if you're building a deck and you have Maelstrom in it, just of what cards you get.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then we have Magmatic Force. This card's really annoying.
It's just bolt every upkeep. There's no downside to having this card in the field. You get at least 1 bolt from it.
It's also any
always.
target, so you're able to target a creature, a planeswalker, or a player, which is so strong. Oh, this card's really good.
And it's a 7/7.
This card is very similar to Blazing Hound, but Magma.
It is the same thing as Blazing Hellhound, or the ability is. The mana is a little different. That one's red-black versus this one's mono-red.
That one's a 4/3, this is a 4/4.
Yeah. And this one also costs 1 more mana. But it's just, it serves the same purpose as Blazing Hellhound.
Absolutely. Or someone blows up your board and you want to get a little more value out of it, you can sack anything. Malignus, because this card is so good.
Tracy actually smacked me with this once, stole it from me, then smacked me for 20 with it, and that hurt.
Yeah, I think I Mariki, and then or Rubina Soulsinger, and then I took it and it was really fun.
This with Warstorm Surge is great.
Yeah, this card in general is just so strong. Muldrotha, of course.
Get back, replay fetches, replay creatures to get away back. Another way of getting back creatures if for some reason I don't have Horde on the field because it costs 12 mana to cast or something because it's been killed several times.
Yeah, Muldrotha is so strong. You mainly just get back, I would say, like, creatures from this because you can't do instants and you can't do sorceries. And you don't really run a lot of artifacts or enchantments, but...
I get a couple, but yeah.
If you do, just getting back a creature from this is pretty good value.
That or lands.
Oh, yeah, lands too, absolutely. And then we have Muldrifter.
Who doesn't like to draw and, evoke and then cast, draw 4 cards in one turn,
Seems pretty good to me. And then we have Multani. Card's great.
Yeah, this gets really big because it's cards, lands on the battlefield and graveyard, so all the fetches that I fetched away still count for it.
This deck is just big dumb things.
And then it has reach, so I have a lot of protection from flying, which can be difficult for some decks.
No, absolutely. Okay, and then of course Omnath.
Yeah,
yeah.
Let's get some more elementals on the field.
Phyto Hydra.
Phytotitan.
Phytotitan. Phyto Hydra. Is that even a magic card?
I don't think so.
I don't even know where that came from.
This with Warstrom Surge is fun. It's a 7/2, so it dies a lot, but it keeps coming back, and then so every time it re-hits with Warstrom Surge, you deal another 7 damage. Doesn't come in tapped, but you don't really care unless you got a way to untap it, which isn't too difficult.
Okay, I freaking hate this card, y'all. Rubble Hulk.
This, for its Blood Rush ability, is better than the card itself. I don't think I've ever intentionally cast this as a creature, but I will Blood Rush it every single time I get it in my hand.
This card makes me really mad. Like, this is one of my most hated cards, and you're like, Tracy, this card's really not even that good, but like, no, it is.
I remember this in Limited. I died to so many games when we did the pre-release for this.
Oh my god, I believe it.
But yeah, that plus Horde is just
dumb.
Smacks me with commander damage.
Shriek Mob, because honestly, who doesn't love recurring this card?
Creature removal, or just, removal for not a lot of mana.
Seriously, card's great. Smoke Braider.
Mana fixing on an elemental creature, and since almost everything's an elemental, that's 2 free mana of any color, so when I can drop Horde on turn 3, seems pretty good.
Alright, and then we have Soul of the Harvest. This card's amazing.
More card draw, which is always good when you're playing lots of creatures.
Love this card. I think this card's like really underrated and it's very cheap. Cost-wise, this card's not very expensive. Soul Bright Flamekin.
I give my things Trample, which is always very, very useful.
And then
if you do it 3 times, you get 8 mana, but you don't really care about that 8 mana other than you can give more things Trample if you need it.
Which is kind of funny. Like, if you just have so many tokens from Omnath or something, or Veneer Zendikar. Okay. Guys, I don't know if you remember Spark Trooper, and I don't know if I was filming videos at the time. No, I was, but there's this kid who called this card Spank Trooper. Do you remember Nick?
Yeah.
And every time I see this card, that's what I think of. This card's really good.
6/1, Trample, Lifelink, Haste. That Lifelink is fun. You sack it every turn, but then you just play it back for 1 more mana, basically, from the graveyard every turn. So boop, 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 boop. Gain a lot of life really fast.
I really like this card. I think it's very obnoxious, and it's just very good. Spite Bellows. This card's really underrated and very strong.
Just deal 6 damage to something. I mean, it kind of works the same way as Spark Trooper, but it doesn't have lifelink.
I like it. It deals... You can evoke it. You can always bring it back. This is a really good, solid recurrent removal card. Thorn Elemental, which basically just has unblockable.
I mean, yeah.
Pseudo-unblockable.
Deal 7 damage to whatever you want. Or basically. To whatever. They can block and kill it, but you can hit a Planeswalker or whatever. It's a good way to get around dealing with indestructible or dumb blockers.
This is true. This card's really good. I actually didn't know you had this timestamped promo. I didn't realize this card was printed, but Verdant Force?
Just create more sapling tokens. So for creature ETPs, draw cards and stuff like that, that's great. Also, sack outlets if I need to sack things. The only unfortunate with this card is they're not elementals.
No.
If they were elementals, that would be the best thing ever, but it would be even more broken than it already is.
I don't think this card's broken. I just think it's fun and fair and fun. Okay. Fair and fine and fun.
This card is not fair.
Tauren Elemental.
Because
this card's so good.
There is literally no way to stop me from being able to cast this card. Because if it's in exile, it can cast itself. If it's in the graveyard, Horde can cast it.
This card is truly a mistake, and it makes me really mad.
Basically, when it attacks, they can't block anymore, so you're just like, cool, swing with board, you're dead.
I think if they had ability card had one or the other, it would be fine, but the fact that it has both makes this card really
And
overpowered.
it has flying too.
Yeah. Okay, then we have Undergrowth Champion.
It's just a body that can be difficult to remove because if it takes damage, you just remove a counter, and every time you play a land, it gets a counter. So it gets really big, really fast, and then really hard to remove.
Yep. And the last card is Woodland Wanderer.
Basically, this is just 6/6 Vigilance Trample for 4 mana.
Pretty much.
I don't think I've ever cast it for less than 4 different colors.
Guys, that is it for this Horde of Notions deck tech. I hope you guys liked it. We'll probably do more of Paul's decks at some point. We've done
We've done this, we've done Karametra,
Karn.
Those are the ones I played most. We haven't done Marin.
Marin's fun. We should do Marin soon. Yeah, we'll probably do that, and that'll be up in the next couple of weeks. I don't like to film the same type of videos back to back, so like you won't see this like next week or even the following week. It'll probably be like in a month or so, or maybe longer. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, and we'll talk to you guys later.